Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Our patient today is 86A, which is 2008 Subaru Outback, which misfires on cylinder number 5, which we will fix right now if you're experiencing such issues on Outback or Tribeca or Crosstrek, and you definitely eliminated everything else, you know it's the ECM. Send it over. We'll fix it. Oh, what is going on here? There. Now, actually, funny story about this one is the customer reached out about the misfire, purchased a repair on eBay, and then like a day after that, he reached out to me that now the dash lit up like a Christmas tree and he can no longer communicate with the ECM, no CAN. So I figured, awesome, because I have a replacement. That's pretty pricey ECM, so I would love to sell it. But I assume that he had an issue with the alternator, and that was the issue. When the voltage, supply voltage, drops below, I don't know, like 10 volts, ECM will report all kinds of issues. The handbrake, the brake symbol at the top left will light up, and yes, the dashboard will light up. The handbrake symbol also will go off, like all kinds of issues. And yes, you might not be able to communicate with over CAN, because that's usually what suffers first. Due to low voltage. So let's fix it. If on the other hand you have any other equipment or any other devices that need to be fixed, feel free to drop in the ticket. My bench fee is just $40. So whatever it is, send it over. I'll look over it. At least tell you how much the repair would be. You'll get to make a choice whether you want to go ahead with the repair or not. Or in some cases, what I receive is like devices that stopped working and already have been replaced, but the owner is just curious what went wrong, right? What broke. So I run analysis and to the best of my abilities can tell you what happened. Not in every case, obviously, but yeah. I also do console repairs, HDMI replacement on PlayStation 4 and 5, and whole bunch of other repairs. Whatever you need, definitely reach out, ship it over, I'll take a look. I guarantee the top quality of service because I don't have a job. This is my full-time job at the moment. Now, you're probably wondering how my job search is going. Well, not great. Day 3 update, 3 rejections, 1 waitlist, not a single phone call, not a single interview, nothing. It's jungle out there. It definitely appears to be a tough market right now, and I'm not sure whether it's perhaps because of the presidential election. Maybe companies are waiting for November and to find out who's gonna be the president before they make any decisions. Maybe the hiring is put on hold. Could be. But I don't think I can wait until November, you know. That kind of sucks. But such is life. It's kind of, yeah, so today is the day 4. I found it difficult to even get out of bed. The fear, the depression, the stagnation, all of that is kind of kicking in. Okay, that takes care of that. My son is right here eating the chips and crinkling the bag. So we get some extra sound effects, and of course they're mowing the lawns outside, so a lot of sound effects today. Anyways, it's kind of hard to stay motivated, which I already mentioned before, but I know what you're gonna say. After 4 days and just few resumes, few applications, you're not allowed to be pessimistic. And you're right. It's pretty early still, but if this remains to be as such, that's gonna be some tough times coming. Well, luckily I was preparing for that, so it's not the end of the world yet, but it's not great. And for the past few months or maybe even a year, I've been hearing that Gen Z don't want to work for the reasons, well, you gotta be understandable, because it's not like they don't want to work. They want to be compensated for work, and let's just say they have some expectations. And indeed, you can't help but agree that you work 9 to 5 and you can't even afford to pay the rent and eat at the same time, right? You can afford one of those two. And yeah, that is heartbreaking that this is the reality now, but it is the reality now, So it's not like, of course, my fume extractor stopped working. Yeah. And my computer also stopped working yesterday. So things... Oh, I see what happened here. There. That should do it. There you go. All right. Oh, it's pretty hot. So I can't say I blame them. It is kind of, if you compare the life in the 50s or 60s in the United States, it's very different nowadays. Back then, one person in the household had a job and a car and a house. Now it's unheard of. 2 people are working and you can't afford a house. It is heartbreaking reality. But one thing, and you're not gonna like my opinion on this as Gen Z, but if you compare yourself to the life in 50s, yeah, but compare yourself to what the life was before that, but say 100 years ago, even more, 200 years ago. In the United States, well, in the New World. Alright. You work 7 days a week just to eat. You know? Just to survive. And now our standards are, I want to work 5 days a week and make enough money to buy a house. That's pretty high standards. Compared to those years, compared to that period in history. So look for the, look for the positives. There's plenty of positives. I watched this video today. That was a video from a year ago. I don't remember which channel. It's just randomly popped on my feed. And that was from those times when everybody did those videos about day in the life, of engineer or software developer or product manager, or young people in their 20s, showcasing, this is what the day in my life looks like. And this particular person, indeed, that looked like, she doesn't really do anything. Interruptions. But I'm glad that I'm not alone, I'm glad to have interruptions, because there's nothing worse than loneliness on top of everyday problems, Anyways, so that was a, the person that showcased her day and at work. But indeed, there was, when I looked at it, when I watched it, it was indeed the situation. She comes into work and gets like snacks and stuff, just kind of wanders around, then goes to one meeting and the other meeting, then sits in massage chair or something like that, and it, in the life of, or if I want to see the day in life of someone working, I would prefer to see actual work. Okay, you work for Google. I'm interested, like, what are you working on? Maybe on YouTube feature, or something like that. Some tough engineering problem that you're solving, right? That would be interesting to me. But if you're just showcasing how great of a place to work it is, and it looked like, definitely, like all free lunches and snacks and very nice offices and stuff like that. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, I'm envious. But you're not working. And shortly after that, she got laid off. I'm not sure if her video had any impact on that decision. Hopefully not, but if it did, then yeah, that definitely didn't help her. Right? And it is, to the rest of us, the mortals, working in non-Google companies, yeah, that might be, you know, what you're after as a viewer. Like, yeah, I want to see that office, I want to see all those perks, and that's super cool, and all that. And yeah, it is, but you're kind of creating this image for the company that, you know, we don't really work here, we just hang out. Right? So that is not good for you as an employee, and that is not good for the employer to create such an image. So could be that this video have been watched by some management, and they decided that, yeah, indeed, something's not right here. Our employees are not working. They just hang out. And it's kind of tough. But now, you know, now the complaints that, well, we don't want to work because, because there's not enough money. I can't afford to live on the working full time, 9 to 5. And actually, you know, to be honest, some of those videos, some of those opinions were kind of, you know, unnecessarily criticizing the work. Basically, yeah, I leave the house, I go to work, I come back, and it's already evening. I have no time for anything, no time for my friends, no time to watch TV or stuff like that, you know. And that is unnecessary criticism, because, yeah, that's, I don't know what your idea was, what life is going to be and what it's supposed to be. But yeah, we kind of have to work every day. If not for money, if not professionally, then, you know, yeah, you don't get paid for doing your laundry or doing the laundry of your family, right? Your kids. Say you have 3 kids. That's a lot of work with 3 kids. Just laundry, feeding them, you know, going to school meetings, dropping them off to school, picking them up, driving them to football practice or baseball, whatever. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and you don't get compensated for that technically, right? At least not monetarily. But that's kind of what it is. That's what it means to be alive. You have a lot of stuff to do, and you just keep going. You just keep working, right? If you just, you know, if your vision of life was, you know, sitting on the couch and watching TV for the majority of your day, I don't think you would be happy doing that in either case. And if this is your approach, that this is the life you envisioned, right? Again, I don't think it would actually be happy life, right? Because it just kind of feels meaningless, like no purpose, right? Nothing's happening in your life, right? You need some kind of goals, some responsibilities, some challenges, successes and failures. You need that in your life, or at least that's what I think. Because otherwise, if just everything, well, suppose you won a lottery and you just put the money in the bank and just live off of the interest on that money. Well, what kind of existence is that? Would you actually be happy doing that? I think if that was the case, if you won the lottery today, well, okay, maybe first month, maybe even more, you would just kind of take it easy and stuff, maybe travel, maybe, you know, spend some money. But eventually, sooner or later, you know, you want something more from life. So, I don't know, maybe you would open some business, a company, or, you know, invest in something, or, you know, start a charity or anything, right? I don't think you would want to just stay in your bed and be happy that I don't have to go anywhere today, I don't have to do anything today, just I can just stay in bed. I know I wouldn't be happy doing that. On the other hand, I definitely wouldn't mind winning the lottery. I don't think any of us would. More extraction, please. But the world keeps changing, and it keeps changing very rapidly and very significantly. I had no idea things have changed this much. You know, I'm kind of used to being in demand, doing what I do, right? Software engineering, especially with, you know, relatively good experience and you know, I'm decent. I'm not nothing special, but I'm decent at what I do. And about even last year, until some time ago, I can't really pinpoint it at the moment, but until some time ago, I would get, you know, without looking for a job, I would get offers. Well, not really offers, kind of, you know, inquiries like, you know, are you looking for a change? Is it the time for a change? I got a great offer here that you probably would be a good fit, or stuff like that. And that was, you know, at some point I would get 2-3 of these a week. Then it dropped to about 2-3 a month. And at some point it just completely stopped. I no longer get them. And at first I just thought, you know, I haven't logged into LinkedIn in 3 years or whatever, maybe less than 3 years. So that's probably the reason, right? I just kind of fell out of the algorithm, right? Fell off the radar. I flew off the radar. And that's what I was thinking. But now it looks like it had nothing to do with me not being active. It just something has changed. The market has changed somehow. That suddenly we don't need software engineers. And I don't know if it's actually related to AI. It could be. Too much trust being put in AI. Recently, Windows update killed the airlines and payment systems and all kinds of stuff. And I was thinking, like, is it because the code was written by AI under the supervision of incompetent person? It could be, right? Probably not, but it could be. I kind of feel like there's too much solder. Well, let's see. Let's see if it is too much. Once we press it the excess should fly out. Anyways, that is the reality now. And I guess I couldn't have picked the worst time to get laid off, you know. If this happened a year ago, I would have been in a lot better position. A lot better position. Now it seems like it's gonna be quite an uphill battle. And who knows? Maybe I will never work in software engineering again. Maybe I'm just too old for that. Well, that doesn't seem right, but let's take a look. I don't think it's sitting right. Yeah, not only it's not sitting right, well, actually it's pretty close, but it's not flush. Either too much solder, or we just need to heat it up more. Let's try with higher zoom. There, that's a lot better. And this side over here is too high, so it'll be hard to solder it. Or am I wrong? What's this? Let's look at it again. Yeah, it looks like it's lifted. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think there's a bit too much solder, and that's why it's so hard to melt. When you put too much solder, or if you put enough solder, it's easier to align the chip, because it'll start floating on the solder and it just jump into position. But then if there's too much, it's not going to be flush and the pins are not going to solder on. If you put not enough solder, or just barely enough, then you have to position the chip yourself. So that's the two ways of doing it. It's aligned, but where did all the solder go? See all the solder missing from the pins? As it was floating, all the solder went to the ground. But now the question is, it's kind of unusual. But it doesn't seem like it's not lifted, right? But I heated it up to this sufficient temperature for it to flow nicely. But it looks like it just ate all the solder from the pins. Yeah, it should be good. It is aligned very nicely. It's better alignment than I usually do. It's just got the I just got a little worried about, you know, where did all the solder go. But if you heat the chip properly, meaning to the good temperature, along with the board, the solder will flow and the chip will self-align if there's enough solder. I usually put slightly less solder, but then it takes a lot longer to align, or a lot more effort to align the chip. So my power supply in my computer gave up last night, and so now I have a replacement outside of the case, and I couldn't find the connectors for the fans, because first I thought it was overheating because it was just, you know, turn off, but it doesn't look like it was overheating. So I just replaced the PSU, and so far it's working. So at least that, but it's always gonna break in the least opportune moment, right? And but that's what I keep preaching, always be prepared. Well, maybe not in those words exactly. I don't want to steal the slogan from Boy Scouts, but always be ready that things will go wrong. That's why I started building the second rig, right? I told you guys about that, because this computer was giving me some minor issues, and that is, well, now the issues is kind of resolved just by replacement of the PSU, and it looks like all the other issues for now, they don't seem to be coming back. But as I said, you know, I was kind of expecting that it's gonna give me some issues eventually, and I need redundancy, right? Just for the sake of staying, you know, consistent, and being able to, you know, continue working, continue recording, even when issues like that, even when my rig completely dies on me. I need to have some redundancy. I don't want to be like the airlines right now. Sorry, we can't process your flight because our Windows doesn't work. Our computer is down. It's horrible thought. Okay, I might still need to blow some hot air on it. We'll see in a second. But yeah, now I have that motherboard that we fixed yesterday. Well, not really fixed. Well, yeah, fixed because it had bent pins. It does work, so I don't know. I even have Windows on it, so I have the case. Yeah, I see that bridge, don't worry. I have the case, so now I can just put it in the case and use it if I need to. I bought some, that was back when I still had a job. I bought a GPU broken, for like really, I think below 20 bucks for it. So really good deal. So now I will have some redundancy. Okay, let's see. Here's our bridge. Okay, so that's that. And our ground pins are also not looking great. There is bridging, but it's fine. the pins are connected, so it's not an issue, but I just want the soldering to look a little better. Alright, that should do it. So what do you guys think? The Gen Zers don't want to work? Is that the case? I think we're just focusing on few individuals that are just feel like it's not fair, right? Like 20 years ago it was better. And yeah. But when 20 years ago we were complaining that 40 years ago was better. And I don't know. Until you go to really tough times. There were some tough times in the history, right? Not only, even before, I don't know. Consider this. Early humanity, right? There was no work per se, you know? You wanted to eat, you had to hunt or gather or do something for this immediate society. Then you had to worry about dangers of the world, predators, right? On top of being able to eat. And, I don't know, suppose you get hurt, you break your leg, break your hand. If you have no one to take care of you, or the tribe doesn't want to take care of you, then that's it. Your journey is over. And you die of starvation. Those were tough times. Now we compare it to our times nowadays. Hard to find a job, hard to find a good paying job, and even if you have good paying job, the dollar doesn't go as far as it used to. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but you know where I come from. Again, don't compare it to, don't compare Poland in which I grew up to the Poland there is now. It's different Poland. But just having a job, just being able to have a job, that's a great success. And then, well-paying job? That's amazing. And nowadays, I hear complaints that the job is not paying enough. Well, how about you just appreciate having a job? I would love to have a job now that it's not paying well. At least I would have a job. So you're not happy in your job? Let me know. I will gladly replace you. And do you think it's actually the replacement, the great replacement by the AI? There's definitely something to it, because it has been hyped up. Just like, if you don't remember those times, that's good. But when I was a young engineer, young software developer or programmer, as we used to be called back then, there was this great boom on websites and online applications and, JavaScript, PHP, those kind of stacks, right? And it was estimated, how did the boom happen? It's basically suddenly we switched from estimating a foot traffic, like you have a little store on like some busy street in New York. So estimated foot traffic is, some number of thousands of people that will go past your store. So based on that, the rent is estimated, and based on that, your potential value, if someone wants to invest in your store, they're gonna use that math, right? Say 100,000 people a day go past your store. Let's take 2% of that. Those will be your customers. I don't know how that actually is done, how those estimates are actually devised, but basically it works kind of like that. You just count the potential. So both the rent in the place is going to be estimated based on that, and your value. So someone will estimate that you should make, say, $2 million in income, or revenue, or whatever. Now, when we switched over to online stores, the same math was being used. But now, instead of counting foot traffic, we started counting how many people are on the internet? Say 50 million, right? So now, daily uses, right? So now we're going to estimate that 2% of that 50 million people are going to be your customers. And suddenly, your valuation is crazy high. But there's no way you're actually going to be able to achieve something like, such revenue. That's like unrealistic goals. But that's the math we used. So, it was supposed to be the next best thing, and it was, but not in the monetary value. And now we have the same thing with AI, that we, and in this case we're actually pushing the product that nobody really asked for and nobody really needs, but we're hyping it up. And is it worth that much? Well, it is worth much if you have people that are willing to invest, right? Give you that $5 million to develop your, neural network that nobody really needs and nobody really wants. So that means, you're actually worth that much. You have money in your pocket from the investors. Not from the customers. And that is the main issue. You know, I'm sure ChatGPT is making some money from the licenses and stuff. And there are plenty of reasonable solutions, like one that recently, well, by recently I mean a few weeks ago, the guy reached out to me with his solution to create chapters for the YouTube videos. I would love that, but I can't afford it. And it's not like he's giving demos away or something like that, because he's got to pay for the use of ChatGPT. And the way it works, you just create a prompt, and the pre-prompt, and the user just supplies the video, right? Link to the video. From the video you can get a transcript. That transcript goes to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will generate chapters. Does it work? I actually don't know, because the guy didn't actually let me use it. He just sent me the results that he generated using his solution, but I can't confirm that. For all I know, he wrote that manually. I'm pretty sure that's not the case, but you know, for all I know. So I can't really attest to that. But you know, there's plenty of solutions that might relieve you from like mundane tasks. But if you know, the target audience for that product, target consumer, is someone like me, right? I don't do chapters. I did in few videos, but nowadays I don't do chapters. Maybe I should start, but it's not crucial for me to have chapters, or at least I don't think I do. So I would love to have a neural network doing that for me, because even if it's not 100% accurate, even if it's a little off here and there, I'm fine with that. But if you have the actual production, if you make some significant money off the of your videos, well, then obviously you're not going to rely on the neural network to be 80% or 90% accurate. You want 100% accuracy. And the way you achieve that, you hire people do it, then other people review it, then re-review it, and that's how value is created. And if you think that this job can be replaced by AI, or you want AI to be able to perform the job on that level, well, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. First of all, neural networks are not as accurate as you are led to believe. The majority of those demonstrations are highly curated. I'm not saying faked, because technically it is certain use case, but it's heavily curated. It's kind of like with the food stylists. There is such a job as food stylist, and when you see the ad for McDonald's burger or Wendy's or what have you, what you see on the picture, that's not what you're actually getting, right? It's not gonna look like that when you get it. Is it more or less accurate? It is. Are you more or less getting that? More or less. but it is slightly misleading, it is curated, it is styled. The same with the demonstrations of what neural networks can do, or AI. It's always going to be, it's not going to be real life use case. It's going to be some well-prepared use case that we know it's going to work well for this particular use case, right? For this particular thing, it's going to work great. And it might be live. I'm not saying it's like pre-recorded or, you know, like plainly faked. No, it's not plainly faked, but it's not genuine either. But based on that, investments are made. And even, you know, in my previous job, and that was, I think that was a year ago. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, that was about a year ago when this whole hype started. It even touched us, and you know, the management figured, let's do a hackathon and let's see what our engineers can figure out in a day, right? We had 24 hours to deliver some solutions. And did it work? Yeah, I guess. But, you know, since there was so much hype around AI, then obviously the company said, well, we have to check it out, right? And do we still use it, or do they still use it? No. Because nobody wants it. Nobody asked for it. Are you gonna rely on the AI to create the ad for you, or you're gonna hire a marketing expert? Well, I would hire a marketing expert personally, you know, because they know what they're doing. AI, well, AI, the neural networks, they just throw a random idea and you know, and you get to pick. Did that do it? No. How about this? Did that do it? No. It's kind of like someone sitting at the computer and just pressing random buttons and asking for, did that do it? You know, it's kind of, that's kind of what it is. So, no. But my point is mainly that here we have the real repercussions of that. Now, is that, you know, the one repercussion is finding a job. If the AI determines whether you're a good fit or not, well, that's gonna make it hard for everybody. You know, first of all, you're gonna have candidates or employees that don't actually meet the criteria or are not a good fit for one reason or another. And candidates that are looking for a job are having issues finding one because they don't even get the chance to even talk to anyone. That is terrifying, because after 4 days now, or 3 full days, and on the day number 4, not a single phone call, not a single interview, nothing. I'm not used to that. That wasn't like that even a year ago. So that's a repercussion of AI. Perhaps the majority of the recruiters were laid off, and instead of wasting time doing phone calls and stuff, now just send us the resume and the robot will tell us whether you're a good fit or not. Maybe if you guys are into these professions and definitely leave a comment. I'm curious what the reason is, but it is what it is, and we have to live with it. No way around it. And we'll see. I'm still gonna give it. I don't think I'm gonna give it full 3 months. Just looking for a job. Now, if the shop doesn't start, generating some actual money, right? Because that would be the best. That would be the best solution for me right now. If the shop became more, busier. If the shop became busier, that would be a perfect, perfect solution for me. That would definitely take away a lot of the stress of my shoulders. But that is rather unlikely to happen. But probably after day 30, if I get nothing, meaning 0 results, I will likely just get maybe a technician job here locally in the shop, in the repair shops, the auto repair shops, because I keep hearing that there's a nationwide shortage in car technicians. I'm not the youngest anymore. I'm not. Alright, so my rig turned off again, and I found the reason. It's not the power supply. It's my son's computer next to mine, and the extension cord with the little clicker. He just kept kicking the board that he uses to put his feet on, and that's what was causing the rig to shut down, because it was just clicking the power. That was the whole reason. Amazing. Well, we found the reason. Hopefully I'll be able to recover the video. If not, this is the video. Sorry. Well, in any case, thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I shall see you tomorrow.